It has been 1 month now since the deadliest mass shooting ever in Buffalo and western New York. 1 month since 13 people were shot, 10 of them murdered at the Tops Market on Jefferson Avenue. 1 month since family members lost their loved ones to hate. As you would imagine, a somber scene at the supermarket, which made national and international headlines on May 14th. Here's a live look tonight. People have still gathered in and around that general area. There will be another remembrance at 7 o'clock tonight there, following a large service that happened earlier this afternoon. I'll show you some video from that. A large American flag hanging over the crowd, flowers, signs, and memorials on display. We heard from survivors and family members honoring the victims. We also heard from a Tops employee who was speaking about the future and looking forward to returning to her job once the store is able to reopen.
My goal is to return to my home, Tops Markets, right here on Jefferson Avenue. I am excited about the reopening. I am not sure how I will feel walking in there or how any of the rest of us will feel, but I want you to know that we are here.
And I do want to thank everyone here and certainly the community at large for all the support to our organization, to our people, to providing food at this difficult time, to giving us feedback and ideas and thoughts and support for the reopening. We really sincerely do appreciate it, and we look forward to being able to open this location up in the near future.
And joining me live right now at the scene is Channel 2's Claudine Ewing, who was there for that ceremony earlier this afternoon. And here in studio, Reverend Darius Pridgeon, president of the Buffalo Common Council. It's great to be able to talk with both of you. Claudine, you've covered this story for a month now. I just wonder what your biggest takeaway is from the remembrance service that you witnessed there a few hours ago. For those who weren't able to watch it, didn't go there in person, who showed up, what did the speakers have to say, and what is just the overall sense among people that you've talked with there?
I think this is something that Darius Pridgeon would agree with, is that people are still grieving and they're still trying to heal, and they don't want to be rushed to heal. This is a healing process. It does not happen overnight, and they want people to remember, reflect, and don't forget what happened here, because what happened here on the east side of Buffalo, and they want it to be clear that they want to be referred to now as East Buffalo. Although it happened here, it affects everyone in Western New York. So that was one of the sentiments that came out. And Crystal Peoples also spoke today, and one of the things she said is that we're not going to be deterred. We're not going to be stopped. We're going to continue to move forward. This action did not stop us. It did not kill this community. And those lives that were taken will always be remembered.
Reverend Pridgeon, a month now out from the shooting, I wonder what are your reflections on how the families and the community writ large are coping with what happened?
You know, it's still tough, even to this minute. Today we remembered all of the victims today in the Common Council during that hour. But it's still tough. You know, one of the things when right after this happened, you had a lot of support from all over. One of the things the families are dealing with right now is feeling that they're not at the table at times when it comes to distribution of the money that will come forward or decisions being made. So it's very important that now we don't miss the fact that these families are still hurting and still want to have a voice.
And Claudine, I know that you have a question now for Reverend Pridgeon.
Pastor Pridgeon, Council President Pridgeon, one of the things that we're starting to hear more and more about is that people are saying, don't just consider us the east side of Buffalo. We are East Buffalo. Have you started to hear that sentiment come out even more so now after this tragedy?
One of the things out of this tragedy has come a sense of pride that I haven't seen in a long time on the east side. And so for people, certain people that want to be called now East Buffalo, it is about a renaming and a redefining of an area that where many people feel that they have been forgotten, that they are the last on the list. And now what this murderer has done is he's really awakened that side of town to say we are somebody, we will survive this, and we want our own identity, and nobody else should be giving it to us.
Just a few minutes ago, we heard from a worker who talked at the service that happened earlier today. And Claudine, it was striking to hear her say that she is excited about it reopening, although she acknowledged, it's hard to know what the emotions are actually going to be like. But I know you've also talked to some people in the neighborhood who say they may never be able to go back into that supermarket. What did we learn today? I know the TOPS president was there. We played a little bit of what he had to say. What are we learning about what's happening at that store behind you, as we can see the big TOPS letters are now even off the building?
Yeah, Terry's going to actually pan over so you can actually see that once the truck goes by. But you're right, they're already starting to make changes on the outside. You can see a big difference. We do know that inside has probably pretty much been gutted out. But you're right, there was a guy who pulled up just a few minutes ago and he pulled out his trombone and he started playing a Stevie Wonder song. And so I was speaking with him. And so I asked him, I was like, well, when TOPS reopens, will you go? And in his words, I could never go back in there. So it's split, really. I mean, there are some people who will go back and there are others who it's just, at least at this particular point in time, there's no way that they could see themselves walking back in that store or going in that parking lot where there were bodies, where this massacre happened, where a white supremacist came and acted out. But that could change, right? How they feel today could change in a month, in 2 months, or 3 months. We'll have to see. But right now, not everybody is on board with going back into this supermarket at this particular time when it opens.
And of course, as we continue to await the discussions and announcements about the specifics of when it's going to reopen, what it's going to look like, obviously there are big plans there. Finally, Reverend Pridgeon, a month can seem like a moment and it can seem like a lifetime. And it's interesting as we all reflect on what happened here a month ago. A lot has happened in the 31 days since. Obviously, you had the loss, the funerals, the vigils, the incredible fundraising to help those involved, which has been sort of uplifting. Also, political movement, right? We've had gun control at the state level. We may see that at the federal level, not only with the massacre that happened here, but those lives lost at the elementary school in Texas. And then also these calls to invest in that part of our community. I wonder if you think there is an early idea right now of the legacy of this horrible tragedy. Obviously, we don't know exactly what the future will bring, but as you look back a month, this certainly has changed where we live forever.
Yeah, it definitely has. And in my lifetime, and definitely in my time in public office, I have never seen change this big, this quick. When you're talking about laws being changed, when you're talking about greater investment, when you're talking about a president, vice president, not only coming to Buffalo, but pledging to continue to help Buffalo. And I'm telling you, there are people from across the country, and I'm sure across the world, who are now looking at the east side of Buffalo and how we can invest. But I want to be clear, that investment must be about the people of the East, of East Buffalo, more than just, brick and mortar buildings. But I'm telling you, it has changed us forever on that side of town. And I think that the legacy of those whose lives were lost is that they're going to see growth like they've never seen. We're already seeing laws starting to change. And so their dying will not be in vain.
It's also been really something to see their loved ones who have been put through so much grief out there going to Washington, D.C., participating in these marches and these events and saying that they're going to channel that grief into positive change. You wonder how in the world people find that sort of strength, but they've found it. Our thanks to our guests here at 5:30 tonight. Channel 2's Claudine Ewing live at the scene, and here in studio, Reverend Darius Pridgeon, president of the Buffalo Common Council. We appreciate both of you. Thank you.
Thank you.